everybody, Rachel Ray here. In every class for our very first cooking camp together, we're gonna cook together, not just us, but a lot of my friends. You guys are gonna learn so many great techniques. You're gonna have so much fun, and at the end, you get to eat and share it with all the people you love. And you know what I love? Everything we're doing together is gonna benefit the Boys and Girls Club of America and a brand new scholarship project. So we're doing well for others while we're making great food and doing well for ourselves and the people that we love. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making this possible. Game on, let's turn up the heat.
All right, everybody, what do you say we do a quick game of Simon Says, shall we? Simon Says, get your pots and pans ready. Simon Says, put on your apron. Simon Says, tie your apron. Simon Says, have all your ingredients in front of you, ready to cook Buffalo Cauliflower Bites. Turn on the stove. Simon didn't say. All right, everybody, it's time to bring in our guest camp counselor today. Here's one of the coolest things about Eitan. You ready for this? Last November, he bet one of his teachers that he could get a TikTok video to hit 1 million views by the end of the year. It hit 1 million views by the end of that day. Boom. Everyone welcome our content creator turned camp counselor for the day, Eitan Bernath. Hey, Eitan.
Hi, everyone. What is up? Today we are in my kitchen. As you can see, we are actually in my kitchen thanks to a generator because I just lost power about 20 minutes before camp started.
All right, if everyone's cooking along today, we know we'll have some hurdles we got to climb and whatnot. So why don't you share with us what we're making and all the ingredients everyone should have in front of them, and we'll kind of give them the lay of the land. Sound good?
All right, sounds good. So we're going to actually start with the roasted garlic aioli. Now, you might be like, Eitan, where are the ingredients for the roasted garlic aioli? Well, we only have enough power on our little generator for our 2 fridges and these 3 lights that are lighting me right now. So I cannot use a blender, so instead of me making it, I'll be talking you guys through it. So we're going to first make the garlic aioli, then we have a little video from someone special to watch after that. Then we will move over to the buffalo cauliflower. Now, I have an unpopular opinion that cauliflower wings are better than chicken wings. Don't hate for me through the camera, but that's my opinion. Obviously, if you like chicken wings, you can use that instead. But I mean, I feel like cauliflower is more special, more fun, more delicious, in my opinion. So for that, we're going to do a 3-step breading process. We're then going to deep fry them over here in some oil. But if you don't want to use oil or you're super healthy and like Eitan, I use oil out here, you can also bake them. We'll talk about that. And then finally, we are going to toss them in a buffalo honey sauce. That is, in my opinion, one of the most addictive sauces. You're going to be licking your fingers at the end. So I feel like let's just get started with the sauce. Is everyone ready?
Awesome. So just to recap for everybody, we're gonna get started with the sauce. Eitan doesn't want to take up the generator power, rightfully so. He's gonna walk you all through how to do it. We're gonna stop down for a minute, watch a little quick fun hello video, and then we'll get going with cauliflower bites. Let's do it.
All right, awesome. So you're going to start in your pan. I'm just gonna kind of play charades. I'll act it out as if I have this. You're gonna heat up your pan on a nice medium low flame. We're gonna imagine I have the pan over here. See, as you know, use your imagination. And you're going to now heat up your olive oil so you fry up our garlic. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not the most patient person, especially when I'm hungry. So for a real roasted garlic aioli, you have to roast the garlic and then roast the garlic aioli. And that takes like 45 minutes in the oven. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to wait that long. So I do a little cheat to make roasted garlic aioli by actually just frying it in small oil. So you have your garlic. I don't know if you at home already chopped it. If not, you should be just kind of taking the garlic out, cutting into pieces. Doesn't really matter how big it is because we're going to be blending it up anyways. So you should be right now cutting your garlic. Use your safe knife skills. I'm sure you guys have learned throughout camp so far. We'll just act like I'm doing it right now as if I have my blender. We're going to cut the garlic. Blah blah blah. Maybe your mom or your daddy's cooking with you is cutting the garlic. We're going to cut the garlic, and then we are now adding it into our pan. I feel like this is the best. I feel like I should win like a Oscar for this acting right here. Then we're going to now fry it in our pan. You want it to get nice and golden brown. What you're looking for is the reaction where the garlic will turn from white or whitish yellow till it starts to get golden brown on the outside, because that means that we'll be developing a whole lot of flavor. Hope you got, all right, you guys see it right now? I feel like I feel like it was like Dory. Dory sometimes talks to the audience and then the answers going back, but I can't really hear you guys. So I'm just going to assume that you're doing the right thing. While you're doing that, let's talk about the next steps. In our metaphorical blender, We're going to add in some mayonnaise, however you want to pronounce it, into there. And an aioli, again, this is like a cheap one. So like if you're making a real aioli, you'll use like egg yolks and oil and all these like fancy techniques. We just want some delicious food right now. We're not doing those fancy things. So we're just gonna add in mayo. It's a little hack. We're gonna add in a little bit of a lemon juice, some salt and pepper. Super important. People always ask like, why is restaurant food so good? The reason is they go heavy on the salt and pepper. So if you want to make delicious food at home, you should do that as well. So we'll put it all in our metaphorical. Okay, sorry about that little technical difficulty over here. I'm dying of laughter. Basically, I'm just gonna start back in. So we have our garlic sauteing over there, as we said. We have in our metaphorical blender, your real blender at home, the mayo and lemon juice and the salt and pepper. As I said, salt and pepper is super important for building up flavor. It's kind of the building blocks of flavor that people always ask why is restaurant food so good. It's because there is a lot of salt and pepper in it. Was the audio better there?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna assume by now you're probably, doing your sauce. It should be probably almost done sauteing. You're gonna blend it, and now I just kind of want to walk you through while you guys are doing that. Let's just walk through our other ingredients, to buy some time while you guys are doing that. For the next part, after we watch our little video, we're going to have a cauliflower right here. Cauliflowers are super. I think it's probably one of the most underrated vegetables. I feel like my mom would know. She's older than me. It used to be underrated. Now it's pretty accurately rated. My mom's 9. Now it's accurately rated. People know now how awesome cauliflower is. I really like it because A, it's super delicious, super healthy, and also it kind of just has similar texture and sense to a chicken wing. Again, might be a controversial take, but I'm just gonna put it out there. Then to bread it, we're doing the 3-step breading process. This recipe is actually vegan, so if you're vegan, you can make this. All I use over here is some almond milk as our liquid. You can use cow's milk, any type of milk or liquid will work. We have some flour over here that we're going to season with salt and pepper. We're going to have some panko breadcrumbs and regular breadcrumbs. The combination is important. And then we also have some of our buffalo sauce. And I like to add a little bit of honey because I have a sweet tooth. All right, is everyone making their sauce? Should we go to the video now?
Love it. That sauce is sounding good, everybody. We may want to make sure that garlic aioli is coming along well. Frying up that garlic, adding it into your blender. Once it got golden brown, adding it into your blender, blending that mayo and garlic and lemon and salt and pepper, and you have a garlic aioli. How's that? Thanks.
I can smell it through the camera. It smells good in your guys' kitchens. I'll tell you that.
Amazing. And thanks for those substitutions on the liquid and calling out that vegan with the almond milk. That question comes up a lot with people asking if they could use other liquids, so that's fantastic. And Eitan, have you ever used gluten-free breadcrumbs?
Good question. Well, the camera lady, aka my mom, has gluten-free. So we make gluten-free food all the time. So yeah, so actually the first time I ever made this, I made this for a photo shoot. The picture's on my website, or it might have been actually given to you guys. If not, you can go to my website, eitanbernath.com, and search Buffalo Cauliflower Bites. And I made them for the photo shoot. Me, my brother, and my dad are snacking on them. And my mom turns around and she's like, what on earth is that? And then I just immediately was like, okay, got you. And then I quickly got some gluten-free flour, got some gluten-free panko we had, and I just made them gluten-free. So this is 100% able to make gluten-free, as long as you have some type of gluten-free flour and some type of gluten-free breadcrumbs, which we always have in house. So if you're gluten-free, this is a super easy recipe.
And quick question here from Wesley and Brooks in Miami. They want to know if you could do the same recipe with broccoli because it's their
That's a good question. Now, I'm going to be a little honest. When I was a little kid, I did not like vegetables at all. If you're watching this and you're a little kid, or I feel like if you're a little kid, you wouldn't call yourself a little kid. But for the parents watching, if you have a little kid, they probably might not like vegetables. If they do, you're luckier than my parents were. I did not like vegetables when I was a little kid. Obviously, as I'm cooking, I love vegetables. But the one vegetable, actually there's 2, zucchini also. The 2 vegetables that I still just for some reason do not like is zucchini and broccoli. So it's your favorite, so you can use it for sure. The only thing is, I feel like it's a little bit less meaty on like the top, but it should still be totally delicious. So you can definitely use that as well, even though I'm not a broccoli fan for some reason.
Awesome. There you go, Wesley and Brooks. All right, everyone, aioli is made. Eitan told you what you should have out for your Buffalo Cauliflower Bites. While you maybe wipe down the cutting board, wash your hands, we're going to get a little pop-in video action going from Miss Nadia Katerina Muno, but you all may know her as the Pasta Queen.
Hi, my name is Nadia and I'm the Pasta Queen. I love to cook easy to make Italian food that anybody can do. So let me show you something amazing that we're gonna make today. Ingredients. The first and most important ingredient for this recipe is to look gorgeous. So, you need to know that if you look at your best, the food is gonna taste delicious. So we're using ciabatta bread, crushed tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil with mozzarella, salt, a scrunch of pepper, basil, and oregano. First thing we're gonna be doing is toasting the bread, so I'm gonna slice it in half. Time to toast the bread, let's stick it in the toaster. Now while the bread is toasting, preheat your oven at 390 Fahrenheit. The next thing we're gonna be doing is preparing the sauce, which is only gonna take you 2 minutes. Let's do it. Crushed tomatoes, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Now grab your oregano. I'm using fresh, but you can use dry as well. Get those little cute leaves in there. And then a little pinch of salt. And always a scrunch of pepper. Now mix it all together. This is basically a classic pizza sauce recipe. Get yourself a baking dish. Now let's get the toasted bread and stick it in. So we're gonna be covering the whole surface of the bread with the tomato sauce, just like you would in a pizza, okay? And then spreading it all the way to the edges. And now you see, the reason why I toasted it is so that when you put the tomato sauce over it, it doesn't get too soggy. So it stays kind of crunchy. Growing up in Italy, this was the easiest way for me to make pizza by myself at home. So I love to do it when I don't want to cook too much, when I want a quick snack. I throw all this stuff on, and I'm going to show you, it's going to be amazing in a second, and then bake it in the oven, and it tastes delicious. And now I'm going to load it up with mozzarella. Look at that. It's going to be exactly what you do in a pizzeria by using ciabatta bread, which is the most easy to get. And I think it's just clever, you know? So I like to fill it in, so I load it up with mozzarella, and I want it nice and full so that when it melts all uniformly. We are ready for baking. 5 minutes at 390 in the oven. And now, as you wait, you do an Italian dance. Hold on, that's not an Italian dance. Let's try it again. These look like little giant Italian fluffy clouds. I just love how the mozzarella is melting everywhere, look. Ooh, beautiful. We're gonna take this one. Let's take this one. Look at this. We stick a little bit of basil, and here you go, the colors of Italy. Check this out. You ready to taste it? Because I am. Let's taste it. This is just gorgeous. Wow, this tastes so good. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you like some more, follow me, the Pasta Queen.
There you have it, everybody. Pasta Queen. I am starving. And we'd offer you all the recipe, but you know, as a true Italian, Nadia would probably tell us a little bit of sauce, a little bit of cheese, and a little bit of bread, and there you have it. All right, back to Eitan, buddy. All right, what do you say we get going on the cauliflower side of things, huh?
All right, let's do it. I don't know if you guys were able to see me during this, but I wasn't on camera that much, so I was behind the camera, I was like peeking over. I do love the Pasta Queen's videos, and that looked delicious. So now I'm in the mood for buffalo cauliflower and pizza. So after this live stream, I might make some pizza. Anyways, back to the food. Over here we have a cauliflower. Maybe your cauliflower is already cut, mine is not. We're just going to rip apart into some florets. We're also going to use a knife, but
I love this technique. My friend Joe in Toronto just taught me this technique last week. She was making a dish with cauliflower and just ripped it apart too.
Yeah, so like technically if you were probably with like a real chef in a restaurant, they'd like cut out the core, but I feel like it's kind of a little fun. It's a good workout, you know. We always like to be productive, work out and cook at the exact same time. So first break it into large florets like this. So I think this is a good amount for right now. So it's just me eating this. And what we are going to do is you're going to cut it into small florets. So over here, come a little close. We've got a pretty nice sized piece there. And I'm actually going to cut this piece into 2 other pieces. Now a little tip, I'm coming a little close. Little tip if you want to cut it is I like to just cut the stem and then rip it apart, which kind of gets a little bit of a less clean edge. I don't really like when there's a super clean edge on the top, but there you go. Now you have little pieces of cauliflower, and so let's repeat this with the rest of the cauliflower. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, of course. We had a question coming in from Maddie in Massachusetts. She wants to know what made you start cooking, Eitan, and how old were you when you started cooking?
That is a great question. Now, though I might not look like it because I have the metabolism of a literal racehorse, I am always eating. Literally, no matter what time of day, you will always find me with either cooking food or eating food. I've always just been obsessed with food. I loved watching Food Network as a kid, watching food documentaries, eating food. And so I got into cooking at a pretty young age, around 8 or 9, because I would constantly go to mom like, oh, for example, one of my favorite people on Fair was Guy Fieri. He always make these like wok burgers with beer battered onion rings. Like, Mom, can you make me wok burgers with beer battered onion rings? And my mom's like a, normal like Jewish home cook. She's not out here making we're making buffalo cauliflower. She's out here making wok burgers with deep fried onion rings and all that. She's like, Eitan, why don't you try? So I kind of got in the kitchen, started having fun, and realized that not only if I cooked could I have food to eat after that I like to eat, but it was also just a super fun way to kind of be creative and a fun activity, and I just fell in love with being in the kitchen.
Speaking of Guy Fieri, what was it like being on Guy's grocery games?
Oh, I didn't think you'd ask. It was super fun. Guy is someone I've looked up to I always feel like all my life. Honestly, when I was like 2, I didn't look up to him. But all my life that I can remember, I have Guy Fieri posters on my wall, everything. I really love his attitude. I think obviously the food he makes is super delicious and like fun to watch. But I think just overall his excitement about food is what really resonated with me because I was always so excited about food. Competing Guy's grocery games was awesome. I met Guy 2 other times before that. I met him once when I was much younger, and I actually dressed up like him. I had a full Guy Fieri costume on. Nice. And he like freaked out. He gave me like 5 minutes at this book signing. He had me sit down in his chair. It was super, super fun. And then the next time I met him, I told him about that I was on Chopped, about my whole cooking career, and he actually personally asked me to be on Guy's grocery games. I gave him my business card at the book signing. No joke. As we're like pulling into my driveway after the book signing, I had an email from his personal assistant asking me to be on the show. So, and then actually being on the show is awesome. It's filmed in his hometown, which is beautiful and super fun.
Yeah, super cool. We have a question from Eden's aunt in Canada. She says your school lunches must be epic. What was your favorite thing to make yourself for a packed lunch? Although I saw your school lunch video in your cafeteria. Did you eat that food or did you bring your own?
So I would say I probably never brought my own food. For those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, definitely I recommend checking out Eitan Bernath, World's Best School Cafeteria Check. You can Google it. It was my video that went viral when I started TikTok. My school has literally the best cafeteria in the world. People have tried to disagree with me. They're all wrong. My school literally has a pizzeria. It has a full like kind of hot food restaurant section. It has a salad section. It has frozen yogurt, regular ice cream, snacks, drinks. It's literally an entire food court, like from a mall inside of a school. So I never made lunch, but I did always buy lunch. And sometimes if I got lucky, they'd let me in the back of the kitchen and sometimes I'd help. But then like some of the people would come and be like, you can't be in the kitchen. I was like, all right. So that's my answer.
Awesome. Another question from Chef Gabe in Miami. He wants to know, what's your favorite smell in the kitchen?
That's an interesting question. That's a hard one. Okay, I hate giving these like favorite ones because I can't pick one. So I'll give like 2 or 3. We'll do like top 3. First would be chocolate chip cookies. Chocolate cookies are my favorite foods of all time. I can smell them from a mile away. I will, if I'm at someone's house, I will shamelessly ask for chocolate chip cookies, even if they're not for me. Next would be probably garlic sauteing in olive oil. Yeah. And the last one would be any type of Indian food. So those are my top 3. Alrighty, so now we're doing the 3-step breading process. Now, you might be like, Eitan, whoa, why on earth are we making this seasoning, this breading not that seasoned? The reason is the buffalo sauce is super, super flavorful. So we are literally just gonna add in some kosher salt and some pepper into our flour. We don't need any more seasoning because, like I said, the sauce is so flavorful on its own. So just kind of mix that together. Now, there's a trick to breading cauliflower, or really anything, properly so that you don't make an absolute mess and make your hands turn into breaded hands. You know what I'm talking about if you ever messed up. We're gonna have a dry hand and a wet hand. Ready for this? So let's take 2 pieces at a time. You gotta be efficient. Put it into our milk. Again, I'm using almond milk. You can use oat milk. You can use cow's milk. You can use goat milk if you're feeling crazy. Whatever you want. Then drop it into your flour. And now, see, we're not gonna stick this hand in, or the flour is gonna stick to the hand. We're gonna use the dry hand, and we are going to coat it in the flour, dust it off, back into the milk, switch hands again, and coat it in there. Let it drain, drain, drain. into our breadcrumbs. And like I said, we're using a mixture of panko and regular. Now, to be totally honest, right now I only have panko. That's all I was able to find at the store that I went to, and we're going to make it work. But obviously, it's not the end of the world if you only use regular panko or use regular breadcrumbs. But the combination, if possible, is the best, in my opinion. Now we'll take it out with our dry hand, place it onto our plates, and we are going to repeat this process with the rest of our cauliflower. And meanwhile, do we have any more questions?
Of course we do. Let's recap that quick, everyone. We got wet hand, we got dry hand. We're going cauliflower into the liquid, into the flour, back into the liquid, into the breadcrumbs, setting it aside. And if someone wanted to bake this, Eitan, I know we had mentioned that earlier. What do you think in a temp in the oven if someone's not going to fry?
Got it. Yeah. So that is a great question. So no, I am quite the fan of deep fried food. It was one of the first types of food that I like. I actually remember for Hanukkah, how old was I, Mom? I had to be like less than 10 years old, I think. Yeah. I was younger than 10. And one year my parents got me a deep fryer for Hanukkah. So I am a big deep fried enthusiast. But I know a lot of people, for health reasons, for safety reasons, especially if you're cooking with kids, don't like to deep fry. So you can bake these. Now I always give a kind of disclaimer whenever I tell people they can bake fried food, because it won't be as delicious. I'm sorry, it's just a fact. Deep fried makes food delicious. But if you want to bake it, you can bake it at about 375 until they're golden brown. Probably will take about 15-20 minutes, just keep an eye on it. But once it's golden brown, then you can add it into the sauce. And I do recommend, if you want, adding in some, just spraying it with a little spray on top of the breadcrumbs so that you get a little bit of that golden brown action.
Awesome. Question from Charlie and Stanley in Long Island, brothers. They want to know, if you could cook for anyone, who would you cook for?
All right, so I'm going to hit you with another. I'm not going to have one answer because I'm really bad at making decisions like this. But I would say my top people I would want to cook for would be, one would be Cardi B. I know this is a kids camp, her music's not super appropriate, but her whole attitude and just like persona and her as a person, I think she's hilarious. So I feel like I'd want to cook for her just to like see her reactions to the food that I'm cooking. Next would be, I would say Guy Fieri, but I already cooked for him, subtle flex. So I'm not going to say it. But, so we did Cardi B. I've already cooked one of my other idols, Lily Singh. I cooked for her at her house, so that already has been done. Who else? This is a hard one. Can they be dead? Can they also be someone who's like not alive currently?
Sure, sure. There's no rules to this question.
Yeah, I guess I can invent the rules. It is my class. This is so difficult. I'll get back to the other people. I really need to think. Throughout the cooking process, we'll get back to the other people.
How about if you could have anyone cook for you, whose food would you want to eat?
That's a good question. Guy, for sure, because I've always wanted to eat his food and I've never eaten it. So I would say Guy.
All right. Good answers, good answers. Still breading away, everybody. How's it coming along in your kitchens there? Keeping clean, one dry hand, one wet hand. You have an incredible studio. How many spices are on that shelf behind
Great
you?
question. So actually, quick kind of anecdote. I was actually originally planning on filming my YouTube videos in a set somewhere else. Literally less than a week before the day of my first shoot, they kind of flaked on me, so I couldn't shoot there anymore. So I was like, okay, Mom and Dad, can I build a kitchen in our garage? So, Mom, you just see each other. We have a little car in here. We are in my garage, actually.
I love it.
A little behind the scenes. So the compromise was, is I can build this. I built it all by myself. I was like the shelving I bought from a store. But built this all, designed it, and it actually all collapses. So this whole table moves over there. We're not going to show over there because it's a mess right now. But it actually, full cars go here. Usually where I'm standing right now cooking, there's a car in here. And the spices was an integral part of the set because everyone who knows me knows that I love cooking food from around the world, and I love making super flavorful food. And so the key to making flavorful food is spices. So I actually was sent by a company a ton of spices right around the time I was building this. So I just filled it. A little kind of insider thing, both shelves have the same spices in a different order, so it looks like a lot more. So I would say there's probably about 25, 30 maybe, and then there's some duplicates.
Amazing, amazing. And that makes sense. If you love Indian food, a lot of cooking with spices, right?
Yes. Yeah, half of these are like spices that I almost only use for Indian food, so yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we're almost up to the next step. Hope everyone is breading their cauliflower. I wish I could like be actually in the kitchen with you guys. I feel like this is a pretty good medium of like in between like a YouTube video and actually cooking with you. I'm like so curious, like how much of a mess have you made? Have you made more of a mess than me, less of a mess than me? Did you finish? Are you faster than me? I wish I could know, you know?
Hey, Eitan, I have a question. When you do eat chicken wings, buffalo wings, or buffalo cauliflower, do you like Mild, spicy, extra spicy? Do you have a preference?
That's a good question. So I like as spicy as possible, but usually when I'm cooking, I'm not just cooking for me, so I have to accommodate for the other people in my household. So I will do just like kind of a medium to spicy, because I want it to be like good for me, but then also good for the fam. Yeah. Now, since we're not in a real kitchen, one little complication of cooking out here is I don't have a sink, so I have to use paper towels to clean. But while we're on the topic, do you have any more questions before I go to the next step?
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, awesome. So over here, I do have a real stovetop out here. This is easily the best purchase that I've ever made. It's connected to gas down there, and it looks like a real stovetop. You never know if I didn't tell you that. So over here we have some vegetable oil that is now heating to, let's see, check this out, guys. If you don't have this, you definitely should, because you don't have to stick anything in the oil. You don't worry about that. It is a laser thermometer. I'm not paid by the laser thermometer companies. If they're watching, they can hit me up, though. I am quite an enthusiast. But you just kind of stick in there. So see, our oil is right now at 330. We want a little bit hotter, 350. Let's raise the temperature. And I may notice I didn't use all my cauliflower for the sake of time. We're just going to use what I have already breaded, which is a pretty nice amount. That should be enough for at least me, and maybe if some of my family wants a few.
Any other potential tips if people don't have a thermometer like so? There, I know there's deep fry thermometers, but any other tips if someone may not have a thermometer at home?
That's a great question. So I am quite the culinary enthusiast. So I have literally 4 different types of thermometers. But if you don't have a thermometer, I just suggest taking a little piece of the cauliflower, something that you kind of don't really care about. So maybe even just like one of the pieces from the core, breading it. I would bread it. Just bread it a little bit so you can see it. Place it until it sizzles. You know what? Let's actually do it in real life. Watch. Let's just take this. Take this over here. Let's just kind of bread it in some flour, and we'll use this as a gauge to tell if the oil is ready. So I'm coming here. Let's now add this in, and if it starts to sizzle immediately like it is, that means that it is ready. If it just sinks to the bottom and doesn't sizzle, then it is not ready. And like I said, we can just remove this because we don't actually need it. And I'll just place it over here. Bam!
So everybody, safety first. If you're cooking along at home, make sure you are able to handle the deep frying. Mom, dad, caregivers, help out, babysitters, be careful, cook along with your kids here. If your oil, everybody, is not hot enough, that's fine, let it get up to temp. If it's too hot, if it's 400 plus, maybe turn that heat down a little bit to let the temperature come down.
That is a good tip. Yeah, so I'm gonna be very careful. You wanna be wearing some apron or something like that to keep yourself safe. And now it's time to fry. I'm kind of really excited about this. All right, so my little tip for frying, you may have seen earlier, I just put it in. That was probably not responsible. I recommend putting it onto something that then you can lower down in, just in case anything like spurts back up. You don't want to get burned. Trust me, I've got enough of those in my cooking days. So you go like this, very carefully add it into there. And just now, you don't want to overcrowd the pan, so I would just kind of add in about 7 to 8 pieces at a time. And we're now going to fry these until golden brown. It should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Oh, it's already kind of golden browning. All right, let's go to the flame. The flame might be a little too high. The kind of thing with temperature and oil is you want the temperature to be hot enough that it obviously fries it and cooks it well. But you don't want it to be too hot because then the outside will brown before the inside's cooked. So you want to kind of get that perfect medium, and frying it at about 350 for 2 to 3 minutes is that. Do we have any questions about this frying?
Also, another tip for everybody, and apologies if I missed this, Eitan, but also make sure when you're filling a pot with oil, you want to go definitely not higher than halfway up, and then you'd even probably want to stick closer to like a third full, because that, as you see, the moisture in the product you're frying tends to be released, and that's the steam and the bubble you see.
Yeah, so mine is about halfway filled, and then with all the bubbles and also the obviously cauliflower takes up room, it's now at about, I would say, 2/3. So that's a great tip. You definitely want to keep the oil about halfway because it will rise just when you add it.
Awesome. Mom, can we move your hand?
Good.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so Mom, coming close. It is now almost time. Now, you know they're almost ready when they're getting nice and golden brown. Just like that. We're going to leave it in for another minute or so. You want to make sure the inside is fully cooked. Because I don't know about you, there's nothing worse. Actually, there's nothing worse. The worst thing with food is when you bite into a cookie, they think chocolate chip, and then it's cinnamon raisin. Not a good thing. Or not cinnamon raisin, oatmeal raisin. And the second worst is when you bite into a cauliflower bite and it's not cooked all the way on the inside. So you really want to make sure it's fully cooked.
Excellent. What if you're doing these for a bunch of people, Eitan? What do you think? I know you have to cook in batches, but maybe in terms of like reheating or maybe keeping them warm in a low oven? What would you do potentially for that?
That's a good question. So I get asked questions like that a lot, and typically, you may notice, maybe it's a fault of mine, in my recipes I don't write usually how to reheat it and stuff, because I eat all the food I make right away. Because I'm like, all right, I'm making the food, I may as well eat it now. But if you were to reheat it, I would just recommend putting it onto a baking sheet, and when you're ready to serve it, kind of putting it on a warm setting until it gets nice and warm. It won't be as crispy because it will steam a little bit, but that's the best way. I would try to cook it. I would try to reheat it as close to possible as the time that you're cooking it, because the longer it sits out, it will get less crispy.
Awesome, awesome. We have a question from Laura. She's asking, can you use frozen cauliflower for this recipe?
That's a good question. I've never tried that. I would assume you probably can. The only concern I maybe see is that there might be some ice in there, so it might, like, when you drop it in, there might be some water that gets out. So you want to definitely be careful and back up even more than when you're normally frying, just to be safe, but it should work, I believe.
Cool.
Pretty good. Got about 30 more seconds. So, while we're cooking, before we go to the question, can I give a little like bonus recipe just from talking?
Of course, by all means.
All right, now, let me give you guys a little tip. Maybe you've seen this on TikTok. If not, it's one of my most viewed videos. Fun fact, Jason Derulo commented on this video. I only found out literally a month after he commented, which I was like, found out the day he did, so I can comment back like, yo, let's cook together. Missed opportunity. Nonetheless, this recipe that I think you guys should make if you have ingredients in your kitchen for dessert after we eat these, assuming your parents are okay with doing dessert. Quick little pause from that story. Let's now drain out onto a paper towel lined baking sheet. And well, okay, ready for this recipe? It's literally standard. It is a Oreo mug cake. It has 2 ingredients. All you do is you take a bunch of Oreos and you literally place them in a mug, add in some milk, crush them up until they look like kind of like pancake batter consistency. You microwave it first for about 75 seconds, and then if it needs more time, for another 25 seconds. And then you literally have a delicious chocolate cake made in a mug in literally under 3 minutes.
Wait. Campers, hold on to your seats. I need to go through this again. You're telling me you're soaking Oreos in milk till they get kind of soft, mush them up?
No, that takes too much time. Oreos straight in the mug, milk straight in the mug, and mash them up.
Till it's like a batter consistency, putting it in the microwave in the mug. Oh my gosh.
Try it. It's no like souffle, but it is shockingly delicious. Honestly, the first time I tried it, I was shocked as well.
I am excited for this. Sounds incredible.
Alrighty, you're frying it more. How's everyone's kitchen smelling? I don't know about you guys, but since we don't have power, we don't have air conditioning. So you may see from me, I am literally schwitzing, or I guess probably sweating. That's like the word we use for Jewish people. But sweating in this kitchen right now because we have the oil heating up, we got the fire under there, no air conditioning, but you know, we're making it work. I hope you guys are doing safer than everyone on the East Coast. This hurricane, literally last night I was on the news, I'm like, oh, it's nothing. It won't ruin won't like get in the way of my live stream tomorrow. And then literally 20 minutes before, it was like, bam, tree fell, and then we got electricity. But we're cooking nonetheless.
Hey, Mom, can we get a shot of those golden brown and delicious cauliflower on the platter? Look how good those look, everybody. Oh, as our friend Andrew Zimmern said yesterday, we want some nice browning, not beiging. Browning is what we're looking for. Beijing is the capital of China, everybody.
Yeah, that's Beijing right here.
Yeah.
Not ready. Alrighty, let's move over to starting our sauce while this is going. Now, you may notice it's quite a mess. Now, a little trick I always do when I'm filming is just move the cutting board down here, and there's less mess.
There you go.
More mess when you're cleaning up after the video, though, to be totally honest. But nonetheless, let's move this all aside. All right, ignore the mess.
Eitan, while you're wiping that down, tell me again really quick, how long in the microwave for that Oreo goodness?
So basically, there's no like amounts. So it's like just a bunch of Oreos and a bunch of things. So I would start with about 75 seconds. Okay. Again, there's no egg in it, so you can have it if it's a little runny. Sometimes it's a little runny after 75 seconds, depending on how thick your mug is, how much you have in there. So I sometimes will add anywhere from 15 to 25 more seconds until it looks like it's fully cooked.
Got it.
All right, let's now make the sauce. We're not really making it. Basically, we're taking buffalo sauce. Buffalo sauce is kind of a pre-made sauce that is just absolutely delicious. I like to add a little bit of honey into it. You definitely don't have to. I just think it kind of increases. Oh, I definitely put way too much. Let's pour some out. There we go. Add in your buffalo sauce. And I like to add in, like I said, a little touch of honey for some extra sweetness. And you can use a whisk. I'm just going to use a spoon. Mix it up. Ooh, this is smelling good. All right. So you got some noise outside. You guys can't hear it.
You're good.
All right. So let's come back over to our cauliflower. All right. These are still Beijing, like we said before. So let's give that a little bit more time. Do you have any more questions meanwhile?
Yeah, of course. Let's see here. Question from Uncle Randall in Miami. He wants to know the last song you listened to on your phone.
To be honest, I don't listen to music so much on my phone. I listen to, I guess it's through my phone, in the car. I'm a big like music jam out loud in the car. What's the last song? Wait. Oh, it's not really appropriate song for children. But you know the song Gold Digger by Kanye West?
Sure.
The beat in the beginning is quite fire. So I was listening. I highly recommend, if it's appropriate for your age, to listen to that in the car. So it's like bump to it in the car.
Yeah, I love it. Question here again from Kara in New Orleans. She's been cooking along with us almost every day too. Thank you, Kara. She wants to know if you could choose someone to play you in a movie, what actor would you choose?
Okay, so I get comments all the time on TikTok that I look like James Charles, even though I don't really see it. So I guess you might be. I see my last Mom, your camera will be not the soundtrack. So I mean, she's still reaching the soundtrack. So I would say him. He definitely, like, out of everyone in the world that I know, we look kind of similar because we're both like skinny, like long-faced, white semi-teenagers. I think he's like 20-something. So I guess he would play me. But if it was like an actor that like doesn't look like me, they maybe can put on like a mask. Well, voice crack there. I would say my favorite actress is Gal Gadot, but that wouldn't really make sense if she was playing me. Let's just say Gal Gadot. With CGI, they can make it work, so she looks like me.
I like it.
How good do those look?
Nice.
See, this is the thing. I have a few more frying, but I kind of just want to start eating. So how much more time do we have? Should we wait for this and answer more questions, or should we just get to eating?
Let's get to eating. My mouth is watering, so I think
Yeah,
we're
right.
good. And everybody, if you need to like pause or turn off your heat just to watch what Eitan's doing, feel free to do so, and then you can get back to cooking up some more cauliflower after that.
Yeah, so by the way, I should mention, I was going to show because I think it's kind of funny. In case something happened with the lights, I do also have a lantern and headlamp at the ready, because actually when I was setting up for this live stream, we had a pre-call before this to make sure everything was working. And as the people that, as you know, I literally got on the live stream like this, and I was like, "Hi everyone," and then I was literally showing up to the live stream pre-call like this. But luckily, the lights are staying on, you know?
Yeah, good stuff.
Alrighty. Oh, we got some sirens, probably from all the trees that have fallen down. Alrighty, it is now time to toss.
You can hang tight.
Yeah, we're good. And now we're going to add our cauliflower straight into the buffalo sauce. I am literally like my mouth is watering so much I can barely talk. Oh, we got a little too excited. One of them. All right, should we try the little toss? We might make a mess, but we've already made a mess, so it's all good.
That's all right. Cooking's about having fun and creating these memories.
Yes, that is true. And luckily, I'm not in my real kitchen, so I don't have any like counters to see. But if your mom or dad or guardian or whoever you're cooking with doesn't want you to get this sauce everywhere, maybe just toss it in. Oh, we got some golden brown ones over here. A little extra crispy. Little tip when you're cooking: if you ever overcook fried food or really any food, just call it extra crispy. That's my little tip, because it's just extra crispy, and we'll place it on to here. All right, let's finish tossing it again. If you don't want to make a mess, you can just use some tongs, but you know what? We're making a mess, so it's all good. And let's place them onto our plate. Bam. And now, I will sometimes plate this up nicer, but you know what? Right now, we're just here to eat. We're not here to like plate something all nice. So if you want to get a little fancy, put some greenery on top. You both got your sauce. All right, Mom, let's go back to the wide view. Always careful. Watch clear. Always turn off my flame. Very important. Little key. All right, guys. I feel bad eating. Do we think people are ready to eat?
Yeah, I think so. I think people are in stages. People may still be frying. People may be mixing sauce, but that's okay. That's the beauty of the kitchen. No two stoves are created equal, you know? So
that is true. And no two pieces of cauliflower are created equal.
That is true too.
As you can clearly see. Alrighty, I think let's just dig in. I'm gonna be a little more etiquette than like how you probably usually eat cauliflower when you eat wings with your fingers. I'm gonna use a fork. Yep.
Don't burn yourself.
You don't need the etiquette around here. Look at that. Crispy. Let's.
Oh gosh, my mouth is watering.
Check.
That looks so good. There's the shot, everybody. There's the shot.
There you go. Should we give it a try? Cheers.
Yum.
I'm not really good if I talk with my mouth open.
No, I got you. Hey, everybody, if you're cooking with oil, make sure you cool that down before you pack it up. Check with your local waste management company of how to dispose of it. You may want to put it in a container. A plastic milk carton sometimes does the job, an old coffee container, but make sure you cool it down fully before tossing it. You do not want to put it down the sink. And the last thing we want is someone slipping. We don't want any spills in the kitchen. No wipeouts, anybody. Just be careful, please.
That is true. I actually sometimes use the oil just when I'm like frying food. I know some people find that I like that because they sell that kind of deep fried flavor. But a lot of times if I'm like just frying up like a burger or something in the frying pan, I'll take some oil I usually save. But yeah, do not put it down the sink. That's a bad idea. And always make sure it fully cools. I give this always like 3-4 hours before I even think about dealing with it. So as you saw, I had to grab myself some water because these are a little extra spicy. I definitely recommend if you have not had buffalo sauce yet, leave some that are not in the sauce in case it's spicy. You can kind of eat some of those as well. But let's talk about it. Let's open up another one so I can talk about what we have going on. All right, ready? Let's get another great shot. Open that up. As you can see, we have the perfectly soft and tender inside of the cauliflower. We have the crunchy coating, and then the sauce is just out of this world. It's super delicious. I'm gonna have to take another bite. It's not good. Feel it, Cardi? We'll do a little food ASMR. You can see all my acne.
Man, that looks so good, Eitan. Yo, this is 3 recipes for one. We got Oreo goodness, we got aioli, we got Buffalo Cauliflower Bites. That's it, campers. There you have it. Keep cooking, though. Big thank you to today's guest camp counselor, Eitan Bernath. If you have a few questions, we'll stick around. Eitan, a couple more questions. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
Excellent. Let's see what we have here. Question from Joanna in Canada. What is the most number of videos you've ever filmed in a day?
That's a good question. So for me, there's 2 types of videos when I film. There's YouTube videos, or like long form videos, and there's TikToks or short form videos. The YouTube videos I shoot with a camera crew. I have a whole family help me with food and setup. So when I shoot my YouTube videos, I do a 12-hour shoot day. Well, my cameraman's here for 12 hours. I'm working for 15 hours. The child labor laws, I don't go to apply work at 18. And also, I'm like the boss and the person, the talent. Anyways, when I film those videos, we can shoot sometimes up to 7 cooking videos in a day. Wow. Those are super crazy, super like insane just because we're making full recipe videos. Each recipe video in the final edit's about 10 minutes. Each one takes a few hours to make. So we do 7. When I do my TikToks, the way that I do my TikToks, since I post 2 TikToks every day, 14 videos is a lot to make in a week. So I'll actually film all my TikToks in Sunday evening to afternoon and a little bit Monday morning. So the most TikToks that were filmed in a day, I think, was 12.
Wow, amazing.
A lot of dishes. A lot of dishes.
I'll say. Question coming in, what is the best meal you made in quarantine?
Cooked or ate?
Cooked.
Got it.
I want to hear both. Now I want to hear both.
Fine, we'll do both. All right, best meal ever cooked would definitely be, every once in a while, me and my mom will go crazy, and we'll make a massive Indian feast. We'll both kind of get in the kitchen. I'll make like a pun. First off, if you're not making homemade paneer, you're doing it wrong. Go look it up on my website. Homemade Indian cheese is going to be one of your cooking full time. That's the side thing. I'll make a big paneer dish, usually either butter paneer, palak paneer. I'll make some homemade garlic naan. My mom will make usually a dal, so make a rice dish. We'll make some type of appetizer. We'll make all the chutneys. That's really my favorite meal to make because A, it's delicious. B, we make so much that then I eat the leftovers every single day for the next week. And C, oh, there's no C. It's delicious. That's part A has 2 parts. Favorite meal I've ever eaten. That is a hard one.
In quarantine.
What?
in
During
quarantine.
quarantine.
Oh, in quarantine?
Yeah,
Oh,
camping the boat.
oh, I know a favorite. Well, favorite meal. It wasn't the food that was my favorite, but the guests that were my favorite. A few months ago, me and a bunch of my friends went to a house that one of their grandparents has in the middle of the woods. We all got tested for coronavirus before we went, made it safe. It was a nice little escape from the craziness of the world. And I got all my friends. It's hard to get them to cook because I usually cook for everything. But one night I made bougie baked beans, which is baked beans that are 100 times better than regular baked beans, also on my website. And they were like helping me on the grill. And it was just super fun because we all kind of did it together and then sat down for a nice meal, all just my friends. It was a lot of fun. So that was my favorite meal I've ever eaten/cooked.
Got it. Love it. And a couple people asking, is there any other sauces this cauliflower could be dunked in? Someone suggested maybe a garlic parmesan sauce or the like.
Yeah, you can kind of go crazy with sauce. I think anything that is cooling will do well. You want a sauce that's cooling. So any type of cooling sauce, you can use any type of aioli. You can use any type of sauce crazy as long as it's cooling. You don't want to dip this into another spicy sauce, so that'll be a little too much.
Got it.
Blue cheese sauce would be good.
That's a good one. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. Thank you for cooking along with us again. We hope to see you back in the kitchen for another day of camp. Stay safe and stay healthy, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have an awesome day. Be sure to post a picture on Instagram. Tag me at Eitan, EITAN, so I can see your creations.
Yes.